My name is Garrett, and I need to tell someone about what happened to me last month near Asheville, North Carolina. I still can't sleep right. I went camping alone because my girlfriend Chelsea broke up with me. Yeah, I know. Pretty stupid reason to go into the woods by yourself, but I needed to clear my head, you know? I packed my old tent and drove to Pisgah National Forest. The weather app said light rain, but when I got there, it was pouring like crazy. I started hiking anyway. My dad always said I was too stubborn for my own good. The trail markers were getting washed away by the rain, and I kept slipping in the mud. After like 3 hours, I realized I was completely lost. The orange blazes on the trees were just gone, washed clean off. It was getting dark when I found this narrow dirt road, and that's when I saw it. A white van just sitting there, like it was waiting for something. The engine was off, but the headlights were still warm when I touched them. Someone had been there recently. I should have walked away, but I was curious, and the door was unlocked. Inside, there were these spiral notebooks everywhere, printed maps of campgrounds all over western North Carolina. But here's the weird part. They had timestamps written on them. Site 12, 8:30 p.m. arrival. Tent setup complete 9:15 p.m. Stuff like that. And photos. Dozens of photos of tents taken from far away. People had no idea they were being watched. There was a phone charger plugged into the cigarette lighter, still warm. And under the passenger seat, I found these muddy hiking boots. Size 11, same as the prints I'd seen around my campsite the night before. I thought it was just other hikers passing through. I got the hell out of there and found a spot on a ridge where I could watch the van. For 2 nights, I hid up there with my binoculars. The van never moved during the day. But at midnight on the second night, another car showed up, dropped off these boxes and left. I couldn't see who it was. The van people never came to my camp while I was watching. But when I went back to pack up, my portable battery was gone. My spare flashlight too. Small stuff that wouldn't be missed right away. And I noticed something that made my skin crawl. Tire tracks in a perfect circle around where my tent had been, like someone had driven around it multiple times. I took pictures of everything with my phone, the maps, the photos, the notebooks. When I got back to Asheville, I went straight to the police station. The detective was this older guy named Morrison. He looked through my photos and his face went white. Turns out they'd been getting reports for months, campers saying they felt watched, items going missing. But nobody had proof until I brought those maps. Morrison showed me their file. Red pins all over a map of the area. Dozens of campsites. The timestamps matched up with missing person reports going back 8 months. These people had been tracking solo campers like it was their job. The cops said they couldn't do much with what I gave them. No direct evidence of crimes, just creepy behavior. They put out warnings to local campgrounds, but that was about it. I drive past that forest sometimes on my way to work. Those white vans are still out there. Different license plates now, but same setup. Morrison calls me when new reports come in. Says the operation just moved to different parks around Tennessee and Virginia. I don't camp alone anymore. Actually, I don't camp at all. Some nights I wake up thinking about those photos on the dashboard. All those people who had no idea they were being hunted. The worst part? I kept one of the pictures I took. Sometimes I look at it and wonder if any of those red pins on their map were people who never made it home. So this happened to me last summer, and I still get weird about it sometimes. My name's Kaylin, and I'd been planning this solo camping trip for months. I picked this spot near the Chattahoochee River outside Atlanta because honestly, I wanted to get away from everyone. My job was stressing me out, and my girlfriend kept bugging me about wedding stuff. I just needed silence, you know? The campground had maybe 3 other sites, but they were all empty when I got there on Thursday. Perfect. I set up my tent near this bend in the river, where the water made this constant whooshing sound. My dad always said running water helps you sleep better. I brought way too much food because I'm terrible at planning, but whatever. First night was great. Cooked some hot dogs, watched the stars, felt like a real outdoorsman for once. Then around 2 a.m., someone knocked on my tent. Not like a branch falling or anything. 3 deliberate knocks on the side where my head was. Then this voice goes, "Kaylin, you awake?" I froze up completely. Nobody at the ranger station knew my name. I'd paid with a card, but they never asked what to call me. This voice sounded friendly enough, but who the hell was it? I waited maybe 10 minutes before unzipping my tent. Nothing there. No footprints I could see with my flashlight. Figured maybe someone from work followed me out here as a joke. Marcus is always pulling stupid pranks like that. Next night, same thing. 2 a.m. exactly. 3 knocks, then, "Kaylin." This time I yelled back, "Who's there?" But got no answer. When I finally checked outside, I found muddy footprints leading right to my camp stove. Someone had been standing there, watching my tent. That's when I noticed my spare batteries were missing. I'd left them on the picnic table, and now they were gone. I searched everywhere, getting more pissed off by the minute. Then I found them stacked in a neat little pile next to a tree about 20 feet away, along with my backup flashlight that I hadn't even realized was missing yet. Third night, I barely slept. Same knocks at 2 a.m., but this time no voice, just silence after. In the morning, I found this cheap pocket mirror propped against a pine tree, angled perfectly toward my tent. I could see my sleeping bag, my backpack, everything inside reflected back at me. That freaked me out bad. I packed up and drove home. But here's the really messed up part. 2 days later, I went back to grab a water bottle I'd forgotten. The mirror was still there, sitting in the exact same spot. When I touched it, the damn thing was warm. I looked around and noticed this thick patch of bushes about 30 yards back from the trail. Perfect hiding spot. Someone had been watching me for who knows how long, learning my routine, seeing when I went to bed, when I cooked, everything. I reported it to the park ranger, this older guy named Bill. He just shrugged and said people cut through those woods all the time. "No law against walking around," he said, "unless they threatened you directly." But they hadn't threatened me. That was the worst part. I had no idea what this person wanted. Were they planning to rob me, hurt me, or just study me like some kind of experiment? I moved my tent to a different spot every night for the rest of that week, even at home. Kept checking my locks obsessively. My girlfriend thought I was losing it. Sometimes I still wonder if that person is out there, following other campers, learning their names somehow, watching them sleep. The not knowing what they wanted still keeps me up some nights. I haven't been camping alone since. I'm Jake Harlan, just a regular guy from Seattle who needed a break from the city noise. Work had been killing me, long hours at the warehouse, and I figured a solo camping trip in the woods near Portland, Oregon would clear my head. You know, pack up my tent, some canned beans, and hit the trails in Mount Hood National Forest. It's nothing fancy, just trees and quiet. I left my phone on silent most of the time, only checked it for weather. Stupid me, I forgot to pack extra batteries for my flashlight, so I was rationing that thing like gold. First day was fine. Hiked about 10 miles, set up camp by a stream. The water sounded nice at night, kinda like the rain on my apartment roof back home, where the gutters always clog with leaves from that big oak tree. But on the second day, things got weird. I was trekking this narrow path, mud from last night's drizzle sticking to my boots, when I spotted someone ahead. This guy looked about my age, maybe 30s, sitting against a rock, holding his leg. He waved me over, face all twisted in pain. "Hey man," he said, voice shaky. "Think I twisted my ankle bad. Stepped wrong on a root or something." His name was Riley Voss, he told me. Said he was from Tacoma, out here hiking alone too. I hesitated. My gut said walk on, but hell, what kind of jerk leaves someone hurt? I helped him up, slung his pack over my shoulder with mine. It was heavy, but I figured, whatever. We limped back to my campsite. A storm was rolling in, dark clouds bunching up like they do before it pours. Trail was a mess anyway. No way he could make it out. We shared my tent that night. Rain hammered down, wind shaking the fabric. Riley didn't talk much, just muttered thanks and ate some of my extra trail mix. I offered it 'cause, seemed right. But little things bugged me. Like, he kept shifting around and I heard this faint rustle but chalked it up to the storm. At one point I swore I saw a shadow outside, but it was probably a branch. My mind plays tricks out there, especially after dark. Remember how my old coffee maker at home buzzes funny when it's low on water? Kinda like that. Annoying but normal. Dawn came slow. I woke up groggy, tent flap half open. Riley was gone. Peeked out, saw him a ways off. Back to me, fiddling with something. A phone? He hadn't mentioned having one. Said his died days ago. But there he was, typing quick, then stuffing it away. He glanced around, didn't see me, and hobbled toward the trailhead. I followed quiet-like, heart pounding for no reason. At the parking lot across the field, a truck idled. Some dude inside, watching. Riley got in, and they drove off. No wave, nothing. Felt off, like I'd been played. Shook it off, packed up, headed home. Damn, my truck smelled like wet dog from the rain-soaked gear. Week later, scrolling Facebook in my Denver stopover visiting family, I saw a post in a local hikers group for the Portland area. Photos of a burglary ring busted, hitting campsites along those trails, tents ransacked while folks slept or hiked. And there, in one pic, smiling with arms full of stolen crap, backpacks, food, even a tent like mine, was Riley, clear as day. I remembered handing him that trail mix, thinking I was helping. Cops said they targeted kind strangers, faked injuries to scout spots. Couldn't prove he aimed at me, maybe coincidence. But now, every time I camp alone, I wonder who's really out there. Kindness feels risky, That memory sticks, like a bad dream I can't shake.